Hey everybody, LadyLibertyStacker here. It is Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018, and I've put up a couple of cast iron videos recently, and I had a few people in the comment section on my various videos ask, how do you break in a new skillet? I think what they mean by that is a skillet that you've recently stripped and restored and seasoned. And I figured I'd go ahead and show you because I haven't broken in this one yet. I purchased this one at a flea market or an all-town garage sale actually in June of this year. And I soaked it. I probably soaked it for over a month. I think I put up a video on how I stripped and reseasoned this. This is a number 10. It's a huge skillet. You can see there the deep brown, the dark brown color. That's what they look like when you've stripped them and reseasoned them. They don't have the black shiny surface yet until you really start to use them. So let's take a look at the other side so you can see what it is. It is a number 10, and let's back off of this thing. This is a Birmingham stove and range. You can see from the inset heat ring, these are the older type of skillets. It's a 10D, and you can see that's the kind of model number that they would stamp on these. And this is a trademark on the handle. If you want to know how to identify unmarked skillets, you can go to castironcollector.com. I will put that in the description. I've linked them before. They're an excellent resource. There was a lot of carbonization here, but I managed to get it off, and in time this will fill in with black seasoning as you use the pan. I was going to sell this. I don't know if I'm going to, because it does have a lot of pitting. It's covered in rust, and you don't know what you're getting. I did check for a ring to the pan. It did have a ring to the pan, so there was no cracks. But you can see there, this area in through in here, that's all pitting. That's rust eating into the metal. So if I were to sell this, I'm going to have to disclose this. And some people do not like it, although this pan will cook. It'll cook fine with the pitting, but sometimes what happens is you just have to let it fill in over time as a seasoning bonds with the pan. And it bakes on and polymerizes with the pan. It'll harden and develop that non-stick surface, and then it will eventually smooth out over time. So somebody really abused this, tossed it aside. They did not take care of it. So we're going to try to bring this thing back to life. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the burner here. We're going to go ahead and turn it to medium. We're going to go ahead and fry an egg. Now, one thing about using a new skillet for the first time, some of the seasoning on here, when you clean the skillet, will come off on your paper towel. And it's fairly smooth, so I go ahead and use a paper towel. Not a big deal, unless it's not smooth. But that's why I use a little bit of sanding to sand this down. But brown residue will come off on the paper towel, and sometimes it'll come off on your food. So this is not to be alarmed. Don't be alarmed at this. This is fairly common. Nothing to worry about. I think I ate an egg once. It had a little bit of on it, and yeah, I didn't get sick. Yeah, no big deal. But I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time. But as you use your pan, you won't have any residue come off, but you will see it when you first use a pan for the first time. So I will be back. I'm going to let this guy heat up. I just turned it on. It's on medium. And the bigger the pan, the little bit longer it takes to heat it up. And generally, when you can tell when it's ready, you can feel some heat come into the handle. And there's none right now. And you can drop a little water on it, and it will quickly evaporate. That's how you tell when you're ready to use it. I will add some oil when we're ready, and we'll go ahead and fry up an egg. So I will be back when the pan is ready. And one more thing, while we're waiting for our skillet to heat up, this has been seasoned about 4 times. I usually do them 4 to 5 times with my Crisco seasoning method in the oven. A gradual increase in temperature as you apply the seasoning, wipe it off, gradual increase on the next heating of the seasoning, and then wipe it off, and then you put it in the oven for 400 degrees or a little over 400 at about 90 minutes. But anyway, I have a whole video on that. You can check out my cast iron playlist. But they've been seasoned 4 to 5 times, and that's, you know, when you want to break them in and start to actually use them. So I will be back when this thing is ready. I just did a drop of water on it, didn't evaporate yet. So you definitely have to have enough heat coming on. And when your water can quickly evaporate like that, you add some fat. I'm going to use some cooking spray here, which is perfectly fine. And then we're going to fry up an egg. So when it's ready, I'll be back. Okay, guys, I think we're ready. Let me show you what I mean by a drop of water. That was from my drinking water bottle. So, yep, we're all good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little cooking spray. And just a little bit here. And we're going to break an egg, crack an egg. There we go. And I always crack it on the countertop directly. You don't want to crack it on your edge of your pan or on the counter. You don't want to introduce bacteria into your pan. So just a little tip that I have. And all you have to do is just hit it pretty hard on the surface, and you can easily crack it open. So you want to make sure you let your egg set up here, and you can see it bubbling. I will move the camera over so you can see that. You can see it bubbling before you want to flip it. And I think fried egg is the most difficult thing to do on cast iron. Let me go ahead and set up this camera here. There we go. And we're going to see if it's ready to flip this one. And here, it's a brand new pan, so you may have a little sticking. And well, here we go. Now it's still setting up over here. And we'll see how we're going to do. And with a little bit of pitting on the pan, I'm not sure if it's going to need more seasoning or more things done to it. But see, it's really not ready yet. That is still cooking. When it sets up a little bit more, that's when you want to flip it over. And you want to do the same thing when you make pancakes. I mean, you could do a batch of pancakes and break in a pan by doing a pancake. Usually the first pancakes in a batch never turn out the best anyway, if you're like me when you make pancakes. So, all right, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and try to flip it over. It's sticking to the bottom a little bit, so we may have a little bit more work to do. But it's not too bad, but you see a little bit of the residue on the egg. If you can try to get myself out of the light. Let me try to see if I can zoom in on it. See that little bit of residue there on the egg? That's very typical and nothing to be overly concerned about. It happens all the time when you're doing a new cast iron pan. So it will stick a little the first time. Okay, so it's cooking up fine, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is take it off the pan, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and cook some other things on this pan and break it in a little bit more. But I'm going to clean it first, and then I'm going to go ahead and do it. But that's basically how you break in a pan. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Give me a thumb up if you like videos like this, and I will make more of them. And thanks for watching, and go make it a great day.